Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to live without a phone bill. Back in 2007, my friend called me from a weird number. I answered and he said, "Hey, this is me." And he said, "You can delete my other number because I'm just going to be using what he called burner numbers from now on. Text app numbers, because the iTouch had just come out and that allows you to use apps. Now you no longer have to use just the mobile service that comes built into the old school phones. A lot of people have carried on their phone service into their smartphones, but what they're really mostly paying for is actually data. So eliminating the phone bill eliminates the need for both mobile and data, and a lot of people think that they can't live without it, but that's nonsense because most of the people alive in the world did not grow up with data in their pocket all the time. And you can live a full life, you can live an online life as well. I have many social media accounts and I make my living online, and I have not paid a phone bill in many years. Probably the vast majority of people that you know actually do use already Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Signal, or some other social media app that you can message them on. And if you just told them, you contact everybody you know, hey, if you need to get a hold of me through Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp. When I fully unplugged and decided I wasn't going to pay a phone bill anymore, there ended up only being one actual person in my life that did not have any of the above apps or any of the apps that I used. He only used a phone. So I simply taught him how to download WhatsApp, and we started talking on WhatsApp. Now he uses Instagram as well. It's very convenient. We don't need to talk on the phone. Now, if I do need to call an actual number, say it's a 1-800 number, or I need to, for some reason, call somebody, there's a whole bunch of options. Number one, there's text apps. There's just numerous of them that are free. You can just call anybody you want. They're kind of glitchy. They're not the greatest, but they work for the most part. Gmail in most countries offers free calls within your country and select other countries. It's very convenient actually, so you can call with a computer or a laptop. Facebook Messenger, of course, a lot of people have their notifications turned on, where you can set it up ahead of time. Hey, I'll call you through Facebook Messenger at noon, and they can be ready for that. Of course, WhatsApp and Signal and any of the other communication apps that people are already using, you can just communicate through that. And of course, people say, but what if I'm out? What if I'm on the go? What if I have to meet somebody? What if I need directions? What if it's GPS? What if I get lost? All these types of things. It comes up. But again, back to the beginning, most of us didn't have GPS when we were growing up. This is a very new thing. We remember writing directions on our hands, and before we left the place, unfamiliar, the homeowner or whatever would be like, okay, yeah, make sure you take a left here, take your first left, that'll take you to the main road, you'll see the highway, boom, you get on. You also have to remember it. It's a little bit of a brain exercise thing in our daily lives that used to exist. I'm not saying that everything was better in the past, but there was a time that we could just go to work or go to school or hang out with our friends and not be bombarded with messages and notifications from everything happening. Our girlfriend wasn't able to call us at all times of the day, or our mom or dad or whoever, whatever drama we had going on in our life, we could leave it behind when we had to go and do our business. And now, everything is in our pocket all at once. Now, none of this is even talking about the actual harm from phones, right? So we're encouraging less use of the phone and distancing them and not keeping your phone on you. And again, I still use a phone. Use it through Wi-Fi. You can even use an Ethernet adapter, which I'm going to look into next. But you can handle your business in your home or your office or your work or whatever. You can have your internet time, and then you can unplug from it and you can keep the phone off of you. Now, I like to sometimes capture content or make content when I'm out. Most of the time I'll leave the phone at home if I have to just go to the store or something. You don't need your phone on you. You shouldn't be using it when you're driving anyways, all this kind of stuff. Don't need it in your pocket when you're walking around the store. Don't need to be constantly listening to music or updates or whatever. The brain does need peace, does need times of rest. And for GPS, I've traveled all around America, this whole continent, without data or mobile, and I'm from Canada, so all the time that I've ever spent in America, I've been on Wi-Fi only anyways, because it's very expensive for us. If we cross, we come back and we get a crazy phone bill. So the times when I did have a phone bill, I wouldn't have been using it in America anyways. I've driven straight to the West Coast with a paper map, written directions. But most times now, I do have my GPS. I just load it up ahead of time. I put it on my phone. I turn the Wi-Fi off before I leave because there's no reason for it to be on, because you're sitting in a car, which is a metal cage. So if your phone is sending signals out, or your car itself is sending signals out, it's trapped in there with you for the most part. Some of it will be escaping, some of it will be bouncing around in there in the car. So turn the Wi-Fi off. The data is always off because I don't pay for data. Airplane mode is always on because I don't pay for mobile. Bluetooth is always off, so the phone can just be on. It's still emitting something, but it can just be on with its GPS map loaded. It does not need to be connected to internet connection to continue to give you the map. Again, I've been all across America where the GPS still has saved me. I've taken a wrong turn and I've been able to find my way back, no problem. Sometimes it does glitch out and I do have to stop at a McDonald's or something, load up the map on Wi-Fi again, get back on the road. It's a little bit inconvenient, okay. As far as meeting people, again, I'm actively meeting people. I've been doing this for years. I am actually a network marketer, basically, by my living. It's the type of sales business that I'm in. So I'm constantly meeting up with people, and especially in weird places that I've never been. So you can imagine there's lots of situations where you have to contact the person and be like, man, which house is it? So sometimes you have to go around the corner to the coffee shop and load the map. Often I'll be asking to meet at a place with Wi-Fi so we can message each other. At least I can message them when I'm there if there's a problem. But again, back in the old school, we used to meet up, just be like, okay, I'll meet you out front of this store at the mall, and your friends would show up. I don't know. We made it work. And it's not all that bad, actually. Now, in this world where everyone's got their smartphones and they're looking down most of the time, it's kind of weird. You walk around the world without your phone, even out in your pocket, your mind is not on the phone. It's not because it's not there. It's like you have the world to yourself. Everybody's distracted. No one's even really paying attention. Next, we've got music. I'm a music listener. I like music. I like lots of music, lots of variety. People are like, well, I need the Spotify or the Pandora because of the variety. Okay, well, I mean, I like audiobooks too, so people will be like, I need my Audible, I need my whatever. I like audiobooks, I like talks. For years, I've loaded them onto my iPod, old school iPod Classic, 160 gig. Does not have to be that. There's many MP3 players that you can load up separately with music. Why I say this is because we tend to upgrade our phones every couple of years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and it's a bit of a hassle to re-upload the phone. I mean, sometimes it does it automatically, transfer it over or whatever. It also takes up space on the phone unnecessarily. The phone is kind of filled up with lots of other things, videos and apps that do take up lots of other space. Most people I know are constantly clearing out their phone, to free up space. So having the music on the phone isn't necessarily that convenient. It doesn't sound any better on the phone than it does on a standard MP3 player. It's all digital music anyways. You can keep your music organized and easy to use, easy to access with a little device that really is not emitting any Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything like that, so it's not buzzing in your pocket. And they're pretty tough too, those things. MP3 players have been really cheap for a long time, and a lot of them can take a lot of abuse. If they haven't had a battery in them, you can often take them out of a drawer. They've been in the drawer for 10-15 years. Put a little AAA battery in them, they work just fine. Hold yourself a playlist, make yourself a playlist. Again, it's all digital music, so it doesn't really matter whether you get it from the iTunes or the Pandora or the Spotify, or if you just download it from YouTube, download it some other way. The point is here, you can have access to music without having data. It's not a problem, and it can be done free basically, whereas you constantly have to pay for the data. And you're probably not going to stop liking the music that you like, so your playlists probably aren't going to change that much throughout life. So there's no reason not just keep it on its own, keep music a separate thing. So guys, when it comes to living without a phone bill, there's not that much more to it. You can just stop paying it. You can just cut it off. Call the company and say, cut it off. You can keep airplane mode on all the time. You can keep data signal turned off all the time. You can keep Bluetooth turned off all the time, and this will greatly reduce your exposure to the EMF from the phone. You can use an Ethernet adapter cable and turn off the Wi-Fi even, and use your phone just on Ethernet connection. You can use a good old-fashioned desktop computer. A lot of people today would not realize how handy and functional the desktop computer is. Notice that phones began to get smaller and smaller, and all the science fiction predicted they'd keep getting smaller and smaller. But then phones started to get bigger and bigger again because people actually want to be able to handle their technology. And so we've got these supercomputers in our pockets, and that's great, but it just doesn't need to be in our pockets. We also have computers, desktop computers that are great and can do all this stuff too. And we can use the phone for its limited function, and we can use the social media and all that, and that's not a problem. You can capture stuff outside without data on, and you can post it later to Instagram when you get back to your house or the hotel or wherever you are. You can respond to all the emails at a certain time that you do it. You don't need to do it all the time. The people in your life can get to know you and say, oh, well, he doesn't really answer when he's working. He'll probably call me back later. not a big deal. There's no reason for the whole world to expect us to be instantly notified and instantly available to everything. So this can decrease our costs and increase our productivity and reduce our exposure to EMF. And for today, guys, that's all I've got. I appreciate you. Until next time. And if you want to see what is apparently my most controversial video that was banned from YouTube and BitChute, you can go to wagthedogtheory.com and view the whole uncensored version of the video. And I recommend downloading it if it is still there. And definitely check out my book, Fake Diseases. It covers all of the major topics that come up, like birth defects, blood sugar problems, bone and joint problems, cancer, autoimmune problems, and more. And it's on Amazon for just $9.99. And make sure to check out my art account, Notice Art. Got a lot of stuff on there, but I've also thrown up pretty much a free course in how to paint in oils and do it economically. I'm going to put lots of other stuff there. And I've also published a book of my drawings. It's kind of my life work. It's about 20 years worth of drawings, and it's up on Amazon at a pretty good price, I think.